hot take. This could be Saban's last year at Bama. If, and I added a twist to it. I like to tell you about it. If they lose 3+ games, what are your thoughts?
Since it's a hot take, if they lose 3+ games, could it be his last year? No, I don't. I just don't. I'm gonna stand my ground on this. I know you're gonna pull some crazy stats here. Look at all those 1-loss seasons. I don't see it happening, Christian. And the reason why is because I think Bama knows they have probably the greatest coach ever in college football. You can't be great forever, right? And I mean by great doesn't even explain what Bama's done. And by the way, I am not a dick writer for Alabama. I hate Nick Saban. I could get into that on another topic. I just think he's that good. His success, Christian pulls it up right here on the screen, is very, 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 very evident. I think any other program probably would die for seasons like that. And what's he got? 7 national titles. I think he got 1 with LSU and the other 6 with Bama or whatever the hell it is. Maybe he's got 7 with Bama. Is that right? He got 8 overall? Am I wrong on that?
Let me just count here real quick. He's got, all together, or do you want just with Bama?
No, Bama. I mean, I know he's got 1 at the LSU. I know that.
So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total, 7, including the one.
Jesus. Okay. That's what I thought. So, I mean, anyway, so no, I don't. The team that he has coming in this year, he's got a new quarterback. What the hell is his name? Black kid. The kid's like ripped.
Jalen Millwall.
Yes. Played a little bit last year. More of kind of a runner. I don't know how good a thrower he is of the ball. But I know they're going to reload there. I just truly have that feeling. I do. I think he was really pissed off, Saban was, because they didn't get into the playoffs. He made a bitched and moaned constantly after they didn't get in and why they should be in, and I get all that crap. But I just have a feeling this year with Bama that they're going to be tough this year. If they do lose 3+ games, I don't think they fire him. I'll leave it there, and I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, I think here's the reality of the situation there, Chris. I think, let me pull this back up here. Last time Nick Saban has lost more than 3 games in a season. You have to go all the way back to 2007, his first year at Alabama, when he was departing your Miami Dolphins.
Well, right. I hate to, since you can't read, I know you're from Georgia, but you did go 10-3 in 2010 there.
I said more than 3 games.
Oh, more than 3. Sorry, I am half slow, a little bit mentally handicapped. I agree. No, that was the season. Yes. So I mean, go on. Sorry. I guess I thought you said 3 losses. Sorry.
No, you're good. And I guess if you look at this, if they lose 4 games this year, to me, I mean, they've lost 3 games before the season. That's not cause for concern, really. If they have a 4-loss season this year, which, I mean, think about it. It could happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're gonna play Texas this year. That's a game I think they could lose. They're going to play Tennessee. It's another game I think they could lose. Ole Miss. You know, there's so many games I feel like Alabama plays over there in the West that are just losable games if they're not careful. And they're a young team. They're going to be a very young team this year, and they could end up being a 4-loss team. I'm just saying, if that were to happen, you know, Saban feels like he's losing control. College football shifting in a way where it's becoming more like the NFL. And you get, you know, you're paying players to come in and play for your program. He's losing control or having to give that control back to the players. And that's something that you and I both know he does not like to do.
He is a control freak. That's why he didn't last in the NFL. And it's like you just said, just to interject, he's going to eventually retire here. Trust me. But you're right. Exactly. College football, we've said it several times, is becoming more like the NFL. And I know you hear him talk preseason all the time. He's always pissed off about the new things that the NCAA is, implementing, the NIL and all that. He is like the forefront spearheading that fucking thing. You know what I mean? And that's why you're exactly right. So go on, Christian, but you make a really good point there.
My point is this: historically speaking, Bama doesn't lose more than 3 games in a season. Not since Nick Saban's taken over. I mean, he's 2007, his first year, outlier, not really his guys. It was the John Parker Wilson years there.
Yep.
Trying to figure all that stuff out. I will make the argument that, but this year, enough stuff is kind of those splash of coordinators that you have, right? That splash of coordinators, the Jeremy Pruitts, the Steve Sarkisians, the Lane Kiffins, the Bill O'Briens, these guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They don't have those guys in the program.
Nope.
They had Pete Golding, who, a lot of Bama fans weren't really very hot on Pete Golding for a long time. So you go out and you get another defensive coordinator who you've had for, who's been there and been around the program, who's coming out of Miami. And then you also go out and get an offensive coordinator in Tommy Rees, right?
Yep.
So my whole thing with this is, it's not like, in my opinion, they didn't get the guys they wanted, which, by the way, was Cliff Kingsbury and Jeremy Pruitt. It was kind of the names that they were throwing out there, right?
Right.
To me, like I said, you get Kevin Steele and then you get Tommy Rees. I just feel like that's kind of a loss there. You look at their schedule, you look at how many people, and we've kind of covered that in past episodes, so go check all that out. This feels like there's a lot of hype, but that's all it is to me. It just feels like it's a lot of hype. I mean, especially in the West, there's a ton of talent, man. And this could be that year where things start to fall apart. Saban has a 4-loss season, and he just kind of has to take a hard look in the mirror and just realize, hey, especially like you said, I mean, if you're, I'm high on Georgia, not as high as you are, and I'm a Georgia fan. I'm a realist, but let's say Georgia sleepwalks their way through the schedule, undefeated, and they win another one. They three-peat. Do you not take a look in the mirror and say, hey, I can't beat Kirby?
I guess it's the way I look at it, and I might be wrong. Nick Saban is. I don't want to throw this word out here, but I'm going to throw it out there. He's a god, right? I mean, that's kind of the way people portray him. You know what I mean? In the national spotlight, right? He ain't leaving college football. I believe he's 71 years old. He's getting up there. Still very with it, still can coach, obviously. And I think he's relied a lot on those, offensive coordinators, D coordinator. I mean, he's had a lot of big names come through there, right? And you just touched on some of the hires that they have, and I'm not that high on those guys either. Even if Bama does have a down year this year, he's not gone yet. He's going to go out in style. Just from what I see the guy and hear him talk for a lot. I mean, he's been around the fucking football forever now, even since I was a kid. I don't see him going out that way, Christian. I don't. Even if Georgia, which I think would kill him more than anything, even if he lost 4 games, I think he'd still be happy if Georgia doesn't win a national title. You know what I mean? I think that's his thing. Because guess who that coach is over there at Georgia? That's one of his boys, and we know that, right?
Yeah.
And I know Saban, he's a competitive fucking dude, man. He is. I just don't see him quitting, even if he loses 4 or 5 games. This team this year, in my opinion, and this is what I was going to touch on real quick here, the reason why I'm high on them, and I'm banking on assuming, which is a dumb thing to do, is that their defense plays 100 times better than they have the last couple years. They're going to have to win games by stopping people now. Not because of Bryce fucking Young. You don't have Tua back there, and you sure shit don't have Jalen Hurts. He's relied a lot on the quarterback play the last how many years? Defense has started to tail off. Early in the what was it, 2009 or whatever, they went 14-0. He's had a couple undefeated seasons there. A lot of that was because of his defense too. You know what I mean? Their defense was known to be ball hawks, guys that fucking make tackles in the open field. You did not see that last year. You did not see that much the year before their defense. I always kind of thought, man, you guys are kind of tailing off. Your offense is going up, but your defense is tailing off. Now you're at a point where, okay, I don't have Mac Jones or these guys back there. This year with a new quarterback, essentially, a lot of new weapons. We don't know really what they have on offense, in my opinion. Bryce Young got the shit beat out of him last year because their offensive line was, I'm going to use the word soft. Usually Bama throws out a lot of offensive linemen. I'm banking a lot on their fucking defense this year. That's where I'm at. And if I'm wrong, I will 100% fucking admit it. So we're going to kind of find out here. This is going to be an interesting year for Saban. You're exactly right, though.
Yeah, and just to finish up on this here, we do have an ongoing bet about Bama and how they finish this year. By the way, we did bet if Bama does not finish inside the top 4 this year. So Chris took Bama to do that. I obviously took that they'd finish outside the top 4 this year. Then whoever loses that bet has to buy the other person a bottle of their choice. I do prefer Blanton's Single Barrel Bourbon. Thank you so much in advance.
Whatever. I'm sure you're into those. You probably text me on the side like some of those frou-frou drinks that your wife drinks. But whatever. If you got to stay out tough in front of the audience, Christian, I get it. I got you, brother. I got you. But no, I'm not. I'm making a pretty bold statement there. I do know that. So finishing top 4 is pretty tough to fucking do.
And that is pretty tough. But if there's somebody up for the challenge, it would be one Nicholas Lou Saban Jr.
Yeah.
I think that's what Wikipedia said his name was. Hopefully I got that right.